Welcome to the Red Couch, Inigo Lopez.
Hello, nice to be here with you, Angie.
I'm glad we get some time today to talk in a bit more detail because usually we're just attending calls of the Relocate the Profit organization together. And that's also where we met about 3 years ago. But we hardly ever get to talk. So this is our chance also to get to know each other a bit better. And yeah, I'm so glad you can make the time. I know you're very busy. Thanks so much.
No, thank you very much to you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be today sharing and learning more about you also.
Yeah, so Inigo, you probably have a lot of interesting facts about yourself. Why don't you start us off with something fun?
Something fun. Okay, so I think most of the things I do in my life, I try to make them fun.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, something fun would be the fact that I like to travel with my camper van and my family.
Uh-huh.
And anytime there is like bank holiday or even weekends or any time the kids they are off school, we go somewhere. So this summer I drove to Greece. This summer before it was to Norway, and of course with all the countries on the way from Spain to the destination. But we've done other places. I've done Poland. I've done the UK and Scotland. And this Christmas, I will do Morocco also.
With the camper van?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Wow,
drive to the south of Spain, hop onto the ferry, and then
that's
get
cool.
get to Morocco. Yeah.
What kind of a van do you have?
Well, it's a 7.5 meters camper van,
Uh-huh.
and don't worry, it has everything. So hot water, cook, shower. So there's nothing we miss, and also it has like solar panels and everything. So we are like auto-sufficient. We can get around without the need of for anything. So whether sometimes we go to campings, but many other times we don't go to just sleep whenever we think, and also we use an app that tells us where other people stayed. So then we choose the best places to have fun.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, for a while I was dreaming about getting one of those old VW buses and then moving into the bus basically and working from the bus. But right now, I'm I'm thinking maybe it's not such a good idea with the European climate.
Well, I mean, you could do it. That's a good option. The only issue with that is that the bus is big,
Yeah.
and you need to find places to park it, and you can't really park it like outdoors. So, but yeah, there are many people I've met during my trips, living in buses, traveling and sleeping in cars, vans, any like fire brigade trucks, any kind of vehicles that has been converted into a
Uh-huh.
place where you can sleep. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, it's amazing. I have a few like camping stories to share when we ever meet in person.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want to, I want to dive a bit deeper into your travel experience. So, what I read about you in your bio is you have an executive MBA, but you also lived in Ireland, UK, France, Brazil, and you're back in Spain now, or do you live in Portugal?
Yeah. Yeah. No, Spain. Yeah. So
And
after I think it was 15 years living
uh-huh.
abroad, I came back to Spain like 8 years ago, something like that.
And you started BiCortex already 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago when I lived in Brazil.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And how did you get into this? What's your big why? Why do you do what you do?
Well, that's a long story. I don't know if you have time
We
for that.
have time.
Uh,
We have time.
okay, so basically, my background is in telecommunications. So I'm a telecom engineer, and since my first job, that was the dream job of telecom engineers, very technical,
Uh-huh.
I saw that I didn't like the machines, I liked people. So then I tried to get out of that. But I was good at what I was doing. So my company didn't let me get out of my technical background. So then that's why I studied an MBA to try to get into some broader position. But still, my company didn't want me to do anything else. So at the end, I managed to change jobs, and that's why I moved to France to do something still in the telecommunications space, but more into marketing, product management, and then after that, sales. But since I started my MBA, I always wanted to have my own company. But it's not easy to have your own company for many reasons. But to start with, it's very difficult to have the right idea. So I didn't have the right idea.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, after when I moved to Brazil, I was also working in telecommunications, satellite, providing satellite communications to offshore rigs and to the government, to airplanes, vessels, and many other things. So it was very interesting. And then still in my head, I wanted to start something. But at the time, the only thing I thought was to sell Spanish omelette and tiramisu. So then that was like on the side of my job. I started to try to see how this works, but it wasn't very scalable. So at the end, we decided to stop doing this. And then coming back to my current business, the way I started was when I bought a second-hand air conditioning from my home in Rio.
Uh-huh.
The guy who sold that to me was a German teacher, and when he opened the door to give me the air conditioning, I saw a little boy there, very blonde, and then I said, "Oh, that boy must be the age of my kid." So that's how everything started. We became friends, and then I discovered, or he told me that he taught German at the German school, and then in his free time in the afternoon, he taught some students, private students, kids, German at home. They came to their place, or he went to their place. But sometimes when they lived far away in Rio, it's like there's a lot of traffic. So he hired other teachers to go and teach them at home. So one day, very late at night, and after many beers, I told him like we should try to do something with this and try to sell to corporates because that was my background, corporates. And then after a few discussions and a few other nights, we decided that he was going to just open up an email account for me, and then I was going to try to contact some of my people I knew and so on. And in 1 week, I got one customer, and that was wow. And by the way, this never happened after that. Like 1 week, one customer doesn't exist. But I guess I was lucky, and that's how we started to do more things together, and then end up building the company. At the time, it was with a different name, and after a few years, I bought his shares, so he's no longer in the company at the moment. But yeah, so that was how things started when I was living in Brazil.
Amazing. And I'm so interested in this story. That's cool. It sounds a bit similar to my story. Although I have to tell you, I had my idea already during my research for my master's thesis back in the 90s when I was like,
Mhm,
researching engineers who were assigned to Asia and Eastern Europe
mhm,
from a governmental institution. Like I had the spark already, but then, I was working in the corporate world for 15 years before I dared to jump. So,
mhm.
but the idea for global people transitions was born already in the 90s. And sometimes, as you said, the same thing. Some of us, we always knew we wanted to be entrepreneurs. I remember that I told one of my friends in the university canteen, I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to be in the corporate world, but I think I might have to. Like, I just have to be in the corporate world for a few years to sort of understand a bit better how it works.
Yeah, I think that's like very important because
Yeah.
if you go straight away to owning a business, there are many things of experience that you are lacking. So in my case, they were, I mean, having a business in a different field, totally different. Yes, okay, it's very different. I have to learn about that market, that industry, but I know how a company works, how a company is run, and what are the do's and don'ts of running a company, because of my experience and so on. So I think that's kind of very important. I wouldn't say it's mandatory,
Uh-huh.
but it of course helps. For I think for this for the people, business owners like myself with children. My oldest kid is 15 years old, and he's already thinking about, I want to join the company. I want to start working now. Like I said, okay, why now? Like you are a kid, and you are not legally even allowed to work, and you have to study. And it would be good if you have some experience outside. So, but yeah, it's difficult because when you have kids and they are interested in joining the company somehow, you don't know what's the right path. If you should help them or encourage them to study and then do work somewhere else, or if it's easier to just get the knowledge of the company by working in all departments until they become the big boss of the company. So at this moment, I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you that it's better or it makes things easier when you have some experience
Yeah.
working for
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah. I would say do both. Encourage them
Mhm.
to go to university so they learn critical thinking. At the same time, ask them to work for you as social media managers or your personal
Mhm.
assistants. So, they get to
Yeah,
see the real hard work that is behind your business.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm taking notes now.
And Inigo, one more question. I mean, maybe our listeners don't understand that, but you have a language business and a translation business. You offer language courses as well.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess in the context of global mobility, is it's mainly about certified translations, or do you work for like immigration providers? Do you get a lot of requests like that, or is your business mainly a training, like a language training and instruction business?
Well, this is more like historically how the company developed.
Yeah.
It started as a language school.
Uh-huh.
So the way we started in rural mobility was by providing language training to RMCs, DSPs, and corporates. Then we expanded to provide also post-cultural training, also some spouse support. And I've been always like thinking about what else we can offer. The thing is that when you are in the world of mobility and you offer language training, is that in some cases, in many cases, they may tell you, no, we don't have those requests, and it's like only a very small percentage of companies are potential customers,
Yeah.
and which is good enough. But in terms of the relationship with people, I was lacking. Like, okay, I want you to be working with more people. Like, I don't give business to anyone because I give business only to my teachers. Those are the ones we pay, and only a small percentage of the companies I know will give me business. So then I started to think about what else I could offer, and then I came up with the idea of offering translations. And as I knew already many immigration companies, which in the past, when I was offering only language training, I was like, okay, immigration, okay, I'm not interested because there is no business. Because the immigration companies, they don't need language training in general. So as I knew many immigration people, I said, okay, let's try to do some short translations for them, and then replicate the model we do with language. We do it with translations, and that's how we started with one or two customers that I told them, okay, do you need this? Can I help? And then as my team was, I mean, was big, but they were very busy with their language training. It was literally and physically me, day and night, managing the translations, and because that's started even if it was a small start, but it was already kind of global. So I had to like before going to sleep, check and then deal with some translations and so on. So that's how it started. And then when we saw that the potential was good and that it was easy to upsell because I knew people, many of the companies we work with providing language training, they may need also translation, and that's actually the case. So then after we wanted to do it like very like slowly, but very very good. I didn't want to promote too much, so it was only after more or less like a year or something like that when we started to say globally that we do that in any country and so on. Um, and then some of these companies working with us, immigration companies or DSPs or RMCs, they started to ask us for legalizations. So then we created the legalizations department, and that's how nowadays we have like three departments: the language training, the translations, and the legalizations. Even if sometimes some of the cases that require legalizations, they also require translations, but those are managed by the legalizations team.
All right.
So nowadays, just to finish with this, nowadays the good thing is that we work with many companies, like hundreds and hundreds of companies that work in the relocation industry. I would say that many times I go to a room and then unless they are like, just to give you some examples of companies that normally they don't work much with us, would be the movers or the short-term accommodations. They don't work much with us. They don't have the need. But if in the room there are other kind of companies, there are chances that we work with 50% or even 80%. Sometimes we become members of an association and then, okay, but we work already with most of you. So, of course, the volume of the translation is smaller, but the amount of people that we work with, that they give us business, and we also give business. Sometimes, or many times, we have to hire some companies to help us with the legalizations locally around the world. So nowadays, we realize and we discover that we work with many companies in two ways, which is great to give and be given business.
I have tons of questions for you now.
Wow.
Don't know where to start. Okay, so let me start with the AI because everybody wants to know about AI.
Mhm.
And then I come back to my other question afterwards. Do you, like with the upcoming, with all the technology, etc., do you see a lot of competition for your business from AI translations, for example? And do you take this seriously, or do you work with AI at all in the process?
So when you say companies competing with us with AI, that's for us, it's not an option because when AI is ready, will be AI. So it can't happen that a company comes and competes with us because of AI, because AI is there and we are doing a lot of research about how we can use AI to improve the processes and improve the way we deliver services. To be more specific about your question, we've done a deep research in our company about how we can use AI for translations, but it's not ready, or I don't know if it's not ready or it doesn't apply to strong translations. Why? Because in strong translations, which could be many times a birth certificate, marriage certificate, police clear reports, or something like that. It's a document that you have to like kind of copy not only the wording but also the way it's set up, and also it requires a signature and stamp of the translator. So AI, it's not allowed. Like you can't deliver a document AI done by AI. It needs to have really signature, and then when you use AI to translate, it works more or less, but still the translator needs to check everything, and it's not perfect. And as it is many times just one or two pages,
Yeah,
it's not worth the benefits you get from AI. It's not worth to
yeah.
use it compared to just do it manually. And then apart from that, in some cases we get like requests that saying don't use AI. So even by contract, in some cases we have don't use AI for translations. Yeah.
Wow, great. Now, it's good to know, because, like we're in my business, we're like, I would say we have been experimenting now for a few years, but I'm not 100% convinced of everything that we could do with AI or that my clients do with AI. Although I tell them to use it as a support. But then, like for critical things like the resume, the CVs,
Mm.
I'm going back to our old way of doing it because I just feel like the standards that are out there, they haven't met the mark for me, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and I agree, even if I'm not dealing with that specifically, but I agree. However, we have to be alert because this is how it is right now. So I agree, it's not ready, but wait a few, I was going to say years, but maybe months, and this could be used a lot more. So I think that we will keep analyzing, trying tools for translations, and I'm nearly sure that one day we will use it somehow, even if we still need the signature from the sworn translator or certified translator. It will be a moment where AI would be useful for the translations part. Of course, we use AI for the processes, internal processes to improve how we deal with things, the automations of our processes and so on. That, yes, but not to deliver the service itself. At the end of the day, also, we are in an industry which is human driven. So yes, let's get help from AI, but we can't rely too much on it.
And the other question I had was about the network that you mentioned. So, you said you work already with a lot of providers. I just want to tell my audience, if you're confused, what is an RMC and a DSP? So we love abbreviations in global mobility. As an RMC is a relocation management company, and then there's the DSP, Destination Services Provider. I
Exactly.
have a list, and in my new book, we will explain all the abbreviations as well.
Okay.
Because, for newcomers, we use these abbreviations like LTA, STA as if it was like normal language.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for
exactly. Yeah.
newcomers and externals, it's sometimes a bit confusing, like how we talk. So I wanted to come back to the network.
Yeah, basically,
Because,
as
yeah,
you said, yeah, but basically, RMC means big. So most cases,
huge.
global companies, huge.
Yeah, yeah,
Then DSPs could be companies delivering the services in one
yeah.
country or in a few countries, and so
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And I usually refer to our companies that are in this Relocate the Profit network. That's what I'm also going to write in the book. I refer to us as boutiques. So,
Yeah.
like fashionable, quick, also, a bit maybe more startup like. So we have more flexibility around a lot of topics, but we also have other challenges, obviously. And we usually don't serve the huge clients. We usually serve smaller and medium-sized companies or even private individuals. Now come back to the network. You mentioned that you work with a lot of companies and providers. Now, what is your secret to networking? How do you reach out to people? How do you work the net?
Well, there is something that I've been told. I was going to say one time, but many times actually. When people see me at conferences or events, they told me, "Wow, you are everywhere." So I think that's the first secret, being everywhere. So in case you don't know, there are like three clones of me. So I can be in three times at the same time. No, I'm
Ah,
kidding.
you
So
have two
basically,
twin brothers?
no, 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 I'm kidding. So but basically, you have to be everywhere. Why? Because I believe that, let me say, 99.9% of the companies that attend the conferences and that are parts of um, networks or memberships, they are like very good companies. I include my competitors in this. So in our industry, it's driven to personal relationship between partner, provider, client, because we are also dealing with the expats, which are people. So everything from the our employees to how we interact with others, it goes down to personal. And let me go back to my background in telecommunication. In telecommunications, I've been in sales, and maybe 80% of your sales would depend on having a good product. Out of the jobs I had in telecommunications, there was one job where my solution was very, very difficult to sell. Very, very difficult because it was not very useful, and it has some issues. It didn't work that good. So it was impossible. So I could be everywhere, go to conferences and stuff, trade shows and show, but if your product is bad, then it's very difficult, right? In our industry, it's service, and again, 99.9% of the companies, including my competitors, we are good companies. We deliver a great service. So at the end, that's personal, and personal could be that they like you or you have a very good relationship, but it could also be. Let me give you an example. You and me, we don't do business together at the moment, but if tomorrow you have a customer that asks you for language training, I'm 100% sure that you're going to come to me, even if you know other companies providing language training. However, if we don't talk anymore until 3 years from now, and in 3 years somebody asks you, you may think about me, but you may think about someone else that you've met more recently. So basically, being there, it's very important, and being there means to me both physically and in social medias, LinkedIn in particular. So yeah, I try to attend to many conferences, events, and this year I think it's going to be about 15 events conference that I've attended in 2025, and I expect to do similar thing next year. Yeah, when you go to the same conferences, let's say EURA or Worldwide ERC in the US, that those were the conferences I used to attend 10 years ago or 8 years ago, only to these two conferences. It's good, but at the end, you are limited because those conferences are huge. You end up hanging out with the same people, which is great because it's people that I can call my friends. But then when I started to go to other smaller conferences where my best friends were not there, then you can start to making other new friends that you discover that you knew them, but just from other conference meetings or short discussions. But now you're going to spend many hours with them. So that's why I like to go also to smaller conferences, even in new locations where I haven't participated in any conferences. Like for instance, this year I've been twice in Singapore, and even the first time for the Worldwide ERC conference. And when I got there, I think I knew already maybe 20% of the attendees. So, but after the conference, then I already met a lot more. Yeah, so it's like an ant work. So literally that you get more places, more locations, and that helps for people to think about you. Does it
Super.
make sense?
Yeah, totally. Totally. And it's giving me a bit of a challenge because I felt like I had attended a lot of conferences this year, but I think in comparison to you, that's not a lot. So
Well,
I need to
there
do
is no
more, more, more.
there is no right or wrong. It's just the way that works for
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
because also it's a lot of investment.
True.
We're talking about probably more than 50K spent in conferences. So you need to see the return, and depending on what where you are at the company in terms of growth, or where do you want to achieve, then it's you have to balance and see what works better for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you have a good advice for a younger version of yourself?
A younger version of myself. How much younger?
Maybe like 25. Let's say,
20?
at that phase where we get out of university and we think we own the world.
Mm. Well, the first thing, and maybe I say this because I'm Spanish. In other countries, it's easier in terms of language. But the first thing is like you have to be really proficient in English. Like
Uh-huh.
without being very proficient in English, then you can't really do much.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And maybe when you're 25, that's already too late. So my kids, they started since they were born to watch TV in English, and that was mandatory. That's still mandatory at home. So that's at least they gives them the idea of the culture, of the global things, and so on. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is we were discussing before about getting working in different places. I think it's interesting to choose your jobs based on how much they can bring to you, and not on the salary, because at that age you don't really need that much money without you don't have much um, responsibilities and so on. So
Uh-huh.
I think choosing the first job is very important. So don't choose anything. And then if you chose the wrong job, then change as soon as possible, and then get somewhere where you can learn. I would consider learn at least 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
and then if you feel that you want to keep growing. I mean, this is not for everyone. It's just if you want to grow and grow and grow. But some other people, they just get one job and then they are happy with that and with life, and then they stay. Not my case, but yeah, it depends on how you are. But that would be my advice.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And also learn languages, for God's sake.
Well, that
Not
that
only
yes,
English, but also
but
other languages.
I don't want to promote my business, but I want to be neutral. So I would say like learning other languages is important, but it goes really, really way below English. It's
Yeah.
better, I think, to have like a very proficiency level of English and then some other languages than just have like average English and then some many other languages.
Yeah.
So the only thing I have to say is that if you live in another country as an expat or because you want, do learn the local language.
Yeah.
That's very like the basics. And I know that many people just don't care, but to me, that I lived in a few countries, that's without that you can't like I have like a full life, understanding the culture and many other aspects that make your life more powerful and meaningful. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I so agree with you. Inigo, it was a lovely chat. Now I'm coming to the final question, though. Do you
Mm.
have anything coming up, anything exciting for yourself?
Well, it's when you say the word exciting, it comes to my mind always traveling. It's like I can't not travel. It's just something that comes in my blood.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I have a few trips already planned, including, as I said, going to Morocco on Christmas in a camper van. Then I'm heading to Argentina in January for a mix of work and pleasure. And then the conferences start in January to Tallinn, Krakow, Malta, and who knows where else I will go. But yes, some trips planned. And then something that I started to do this year that I'm enjoying a lot is the Movers and Shakers initiative.
Uh-huh.
So for those, I don't know if you know it, but for those who don't know what that is, it's basically an association that aims to get the global mobility people together. So basically, they organize events in different cities around the world, and it's been already done in like in at least 15 or 20 cities, including the 5 continents now. So basically, it's just an event, networking event, no agenda, no presentations, no PowerPoints, of course, and it's just a few hours of inviting everyone in the city that works somehow in ground mobility. Nothing about competitors, no competitors. It doesn't matter. Whoever is in the city is invited, and nobody complains about the competitor or anything like that. And so far, I've organized 2 events in Madrid
Uh-huh.
and one in Athens. And I'm already organizing one in Buenos Aires in January 9th, 2026. And then I'm about to finalize one more in Paris, probably in March, April, another one in Madrid. So it's very interesting, and
Mhm.
it's something that I'm very happy to be involved, and I'm looking forward to have more events.
Can you share maybe the website where people can sign up? Or is this by invitation only? Is this one of those clubs?
No, it's not a club. It's not an invitation only club. So basically, if you go to LinkedIn and you type Movers and Shakers,
Uh-huh.
it's a public page, and there the events are announced normally with a few weeks or months in advance. And then there is also a website called Movers and Shakers altogether dot events. So all the information is also there.
Okay, I will find
Just
it.
a fun fact about the events is that normally there are sponsors of the events. One
Uh-huh.
sponsor normally offers the venue, and then another sponsor or 2 sponsors pay for drinks and nibbles, right? And they are free for whoever wants to join, right? But in the UK, in London, it's becoming so big, and sometimes the venues are like have a limited space that they've done the first paid event for the attendees.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's not the idea. It's just because they have to limit the number of attendees. And also, another fun fact about Movers and Shakers is that for the second time, there's going to be an event of Movers and Shakers together with the Mobility Light Orchestra, MLO. So this is a band made of people from the industry that play together at events. So a few months ago was the first time done in Chile, in Santiago, where both Movers Shakers and MLO played. And the next one will be in Buenos Aires.
Are you a
So,
member of that band?
of course, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no! I wanted to see you guys forever. I've seen it, I
yeah,
think, a few years ago on a video, and I was like, "Wow, that's so cool!
yeah,
That's so
exactly. So,
cool! I didn't know that." You should
yeah,
add that
so,
to
yeah,
your bio, by the way.
yeah, I should, yeah.
The Mobility Light Orchestra. Wow. Now, well, that's if that's not if it. I was already excited about these events before, but now I'm even more excited.
Yeah, the
So yeah, I
interesting
will
thing about
find the
this,
link and add it to the
yeah,
show notes.
yeah, the interesting thing about MLO is that, again, it's not a club, meaning that anyone can also play or sing.
Uh-huh.
So whenever we do an event, we ask the people that are going to participate,
Yeah.
hey, if you are a musician or you can play an instrument and you
Yeah.
want to do it with us, you can maybe be our guest and play one song or 2 songs. So just to give you an example, when we played in Vila Moura in
I want
Portugal at
in.
Jura, yeah, in Vila Moura and in Jura, we were 13 people in
Uh-huh.
total playing. So yeah. So what do you play?
Nothing. I sing. I'm a
Okay,
singer. So
okay,
I have no instrument, but I sing.
okay. That's
So,
more
but
than
I
more
have
than
not
good.
been on stage probably for 15 years because of My business.
Well,
Yeah, but we will get there. So, my dear Inigo, it was fantastic talking to you, and wish you happy holidays. All the best
thank
for
you
your
likewise.
travels, and I'm sure we're gonna bump into each other again at some stage in 2026.
100%. Thank you very much for the invitation again, Angie.
Wonderful. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.